Hello and welcome to this I'm Possible Life podcast. I'm your host, Lisbeth Koning, and today's topic is relaxing into your life. I don't know about you, but it is so easy to get caught up in the tense, closed, painful space of life. I want to describe that a little bit. Often we'll get into thinking that we can control a lot more than we can, right? There's so much in our life that really is out of our control. But we'll hyper focus on what we think is in our control, even if it's not, because it makes us feel a little bit more at ease. At least we think it does. But when you learn to use some of the strategies that I'm going to talk about in this episode, you realize, oh, wait, there's a better way. There's a better way. And I'm speaking to you from experience. I have been there and I fall back into it sometimes. But the more we practice it, the less we do, and the better it feels. So there's a couple things. I want you to think about your face right now. Relax it. Relax your eyes. Relax your jaw. Isn't it surprising how often we're tensing those things, right? So whenever I'm in a class or a meeting where they start with like a relaxation thing, when I actually think about my jaw and relax it, and I feel what it feels like when it's relaxed, I realize it wasn't. Same thing with our shoulders. Relax your shoulders, right? Relax your belly. There's some areas that we're just used to holding tight and we just get used to it, especially the jaw, especially the jaw. So let's just start. Take a deep breath and let all those muscles relax. We hold tension in our bodies. And a lot of times, when life gets a little bit more stressful, things amp up a little bit, we'll start to have issues like maybe stomach aches or urinary tract infections. All of these things I kind of picture coming from like clenching. And if you think about a fist, so if you're watching on video, you can see me, but if not, just hold your fist out and look at it. When your hands are closed, think about how much you can hold. A very tiny amount, right? If you look at what that space is inside that fist, very tiny. But if you open up your hand, suddenly you can hold so much more. And that is the metaphor that I want to bring to our life. So I want you to relax into your life, open the hand, hold more, bring more awareness, openness, pausing. So we tend to cause ourselves a lot of unnecessary pain by doing this. Some of the things I mentioned to you before, anything where we're trying to control, we'll do this with our partners, with our children. If you're a teacher, you might do it with your students. If you're at your workplace, you might do it with your colleagues. Um, you might sign up to be the leader for everything because you're like, then I have control over who's doing what and how well it gets done. Maybe you own your own business and you have trouble delegating. So there's a lot of areas of our life where we control. And one of the biggest lessons that I learned in my life was that no matter how much I think I was controlling, ultimately, we have no idea what will happen in this life. Now, that happened to me with a relationship, right? I was married. I thought I had the whole plan, right? When that ended, it was like, wait a minute, this wasn't in the plan. Like, no, I worked very hard to make this plan. What is this? Right? So we actually don't know what is going to happen in the future, no matter how solid it seems. So leaving that little space of openness, the little openness actually makes it easier. I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but it does. So with my children, right? One of the things that is hardest as parents is that we often associate the success of our children with our own success as parents. So we'll let go of that. This is their journey, right? We can be a guide, we can provide opportunities, we can apologize for our mistakes, make amends, right? Those are all really good things to do as a parent. But ultimately, it is their life to live how they want to live it. It is their journey. It is their job to have these things happen that are hard and that they have to work through, and that it's so hard to watch them be in pain, but it's part of the process. Think of some of your best life lessons. It came from things that were really hard. Like when I look back on my divorce, I am really glad that happened because it led to a lot of other things. There's a lot of things in life where we just got to live it and we have to experience it because then we're going to learn things. So with your children, with your partner, like we cannot change anyone. We cannot predict anyone's future. We cannot cause anyone's future as much as we want to. So if you let go of that, what I call that is surrender the outcome. It doesn't mean I'm not going to try at all. I'm not going to like make them do their homework or set up boundaries. Those are all very important parenting parts. But it's divorcing from the outcome. I'm going to do what I need to do in the present, be very present with you, being loving, loving boundaries, resources. But where that leads to is totally up to them, right? And they're going to feel that freedom. They feel when you're closing in like this and they run away as fast as they can. Right? Same with partners. They feel when you're trying to change them. You got to let go. You got to surrender the outcome. And one thing that can help is if you trust the universe, God, whatever it is for you, you say this or something better. So you can say your intention. I would love if this happened, this or something better. What I want is for what is of the highest good for all. Because we can't always see that. Often we can't see that in the moment. And you look back and you're like, yep, that was not on my radar at all, but I love it. And it's fabulous and it's better than I could ever imagined. Right? That's the ultimate goal. So stop confining yourself from what you can like see right now. Your present self can't see all the amazingness that is there for your future self. So you have to be open to the possibilities. Open to possibilities. Be ask for guidance. Surrender the outcome. These are things I remind myself of every day. Every day. But it's something that helps when something doesn't go how you would plan. It's like, okay, well, that means something better, right? If it wasn't this, then it's something better. Those are just your options. The universe has three answers: yes, not yet, and something better. I gotta steal that from Gabby Bernstein. So we've talked about loosening your body, relaxing your body, but then a lot with relaxing your mind around what you think you're controlling. This is the illusion of control. And then in really thinking about in every situation, even the hard situations, like what is actually mine? Because a lot of times we're getting so many projections on us from other people. And if you can just pause long enough to realize, wait a minute, what's going on with them internally that they're putting that onto me? That is their journey. And in that, there might be something that you need to address, right? Something that you're responsible for. But if we don't pause to ask ourselves that, then we take on a lot more than we should. So, is this mine? What part of this is mine? What is in my control? And the rest, I'll let it go. Let it go. And part of being able to do this is making sure that your brain is in respond mode instead of react mode. And how you get there? Can you guess it? Yeah, meditation. I used to be a person who said I couldn't meditate because my brain was too wild and crazy and I'm like a squirrel, right? But that's because I didn't meditate. I'm telling you, you can train your brain. So I accidentally fell into meditation because I was worried about a physical recovery and I was doing these exercises that they had me do with tensing muscles and releasing them and connecting it with breath. And I was very religious about it because I wanted to heal correctly. And 2 or 3 weeks into doing that, my brain switched to respond mode instead of react mode. And the way I describe it is before that, everything felt like it was just flying at me and I'm responding. And I'm actually really good in that case, right? I'm really good in an emergency situation because I can think really fast, I can respond really fast. But it's not always the best decisions that come when you're in that mode. And so it felt like everything was flying at me and I had to make these quick decisions. But then after about 2, 3 weeks of doing these breath tension work exercises, it was like I could see things coming. Oh, I'm going to respond this way. Oh, I think I'll respond this way. I think I'll. It just slowed how things were coming towards me and how my like life didn't slow down, but how my brain saw life changed 100% from meditation. Because since then, I realized this has to be a non-negotiable in my life. And I have kept up the practice. Even if it's just stepping aside at lunch for 5 minutes, it makes a difference and it builds over time. It has a cumulative effect. So when I do have extra time, I'll do like a 20-minute deep meditation. Y'all, that's it. I am not one of those people who goes and sits on a meditation cushion for hours at a time. But I am having the helpful effects of meditation with these 5, 10, 15, 20-minute guided meditations. That's what I like to do. I like someone to tell me, they guide me, right? My partner and I fall asleep to guided deep sleep meditations. So I always get that meditation in too, but I try to do a more conscious one during the day. And it really does. It shifts the way your brain is. So to sum it all up, you are going to relax into your life, to realize that everything that comes at you is not really about you. Most of it is not. It is whatever's going on with them. So bringing that empathy, bringing that compassion, and then taking the time to own what is mine, what do I need to do in this situation, what do I need to let go of, and giving it that space. A lot of times, if I don't know how to respond to something, I allow myself to sit with it. And often it solves itself. Just giving it that pause solved itself in a better way than if I had done that immediate react so often. So I hope you can go into your week and relax into it. Maybe you can even go take a bath. All right. See you next time.